That's it. It's official. Liverpool are crowned Premier League champions for the 24-25 season. Real Madrid just cannot seem to beat Barcelona. And are Nike on their way out of the soccer game as a whole? All that and more in this week's episode on Fullest Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Pete, how are you doing?
I'm happy that there's no vampires chasing me.
I mean,
outside of a club in Mississippi.
In the Mississippi Delta.
Yeah.
I listen. All I'm saying, and fellas, hear me out. If Haley Steinfeld was the vampire, would.
Is that a question?
It's an easy decision. It's an easy call.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just simple math, fellas.
I mean,
Sinners was sick. Everybody needs to go see. We need people seeing these movies, or we're gonna keep getting sequel slop.
Yeah, no. This was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Some of those music scenes, fantastic.
These vampires had bops, let me tell you. But this isn't a movie podcast.
Did something happen this weekend? Did I miss something? Did something big happen?
I mean, is it okay to call it big if we've almost just been like counting down the days till it happened since January? Are
you pulling my leg? I'm talking about something big. Did something big happen? I don't know what happened.
What happened, Pete?
You tell me. I don't know.
Is this about Liverpool winning the league?
Buddy, I said something big. That's not.
Did you tell me?
Yeah, as a United fan, this is. I don't know if this is any worse era than ever. Like for the last 10 years, your rivals, just winning it. I mean, outside of that Leicester win in 2016, has there been? I don't think there's been any other champion besides either City or Liverpool.
It's really been really a one team for the most part race, and I hate to say it considering they're 50% of the teams that have won it in the last what feels like decade, but it does feel nice to not see City walk away with it.
Yeah.
It just does feel refreshing. Even if it is Liverpool, I feel like Liverpool had their era in the darkness. I'd say when we were kind of coming up in the football game, but now like it feels nice to see. I don't know. I would not consider Liverpool.
You won't hear me say it's nice to see, but I will give them my respect. And
tip of the cap. Tip of the cap. This is the best way I can put it. It's better than City.
Yeah, everyone's sick and tired of City, and everyone was happy to see the downfall of City this year. But we'll focus in on Liverpool here. This is their first Prem since 2020, and we all remember where we were, where they celebrated it in front of a empty Anfield. So this was a good time for them to celebrate it in front of the fans, a full cop stand and everything. So that's always cool. There's always memories that will last generations across fans, families, etc. Other kind of cool tidbits is ties Man United for the most First Division / Prem trophies at 20. So
that's why you're upset.
And it ties them, so we're still tied for the lead. But for now, and it looks like they'll probably take it. But when we'll get it back, don't worry. Don't you damn worry.
For sure, bud.
21 is coming, baby. 21 is coming.
In 21 years, maybe.
Yeah, my ass. Anyway. So, other cool little tidbits I found here. I was doing a little research. Look at me being unbiased. Arne Slot, only the 5th manager to lift the Premier League trophy in his first season in England. He's the 4th Liverpool manager to win in his first season as well. But the other Premier League managers to do it in their first season with a new team, Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, Antonio Conte, Manuel Pellegrini, and Claudio Ranieri. I also thought that was kind of crazy that it was 3 different Chelsea managers.
I was just going to say several Chelsea managers. And one thing I did think was cool, because it's really, everyone was kind of talking about it. Arne Slot came in, and it was a lot of talk about how it was just Klopp's team. He just took over an already successful team. Him thanking Klopp for putting the squad together for him to take over, I actually thought was a very class move.
I think everyone always knew that with Liverpool, like when the team is fully healthy, that they're probably, they're going to go toe to toe. They're going to go toe to toe with City and be the title contenders that we know they can be. There's always just those years that with Klopp's heavy metal football style, that always kind of led to injuries, and sometimes they got really bad injury bugs. And in the years when they didn't hit the injury bug, we saw them go deep into competitions and win trophies.
It's
So
truly a team of when they're on, they're on. I mean, you have on the front and back of the pitch, you have, I mean, even behind the center back, you have three of the greatest players of all time in their positions between Alisson, Van Dijk, and Mohamed Salah, of course.
yeah,
And then, I mean, you have it's such a solid squad that when everyone's healthy, it's literally a no-brainer that they're going to be a powerhouse team.
all Arnie, I mean, not to say that's all he did, but Arnie Slot just, he made some tweaks that probably vibed better with the current crop of players that he had, their style, and, didn't ruffle any feathers. And really the only blip of the season is like that 1 week in like March that kind of, taints it a little bit, takes away from it. It could have been like one of the all-time seasons we would have been talking about into just, it's a great season for Liverpool. They got the job. The main thing, win the Prem. And that's what they're doing. So I think this is kind of leads me to the discussion I wanted to have with you. I guess first, two different questions here. First one is, how will this Liverpool team be remembered? Then, and also on top of it, how do they build from this?
I mean, building from this, I think it's pretty clear. You need to start finding replacements for the three that I listed, arguably greatest in their positions. You got to start trying to figure out these solutions because Salah, Becker, and Van Dijk are all 32 or 33. They're aging. Like, yes, they're getting these extensions, which is good. And the goalkeepers, for sure, they definitely have a little more longevity in their position. But
they actually have a backup in place. I forget, this happened like so long ago, but they signed like the Georgian goalkeeper, Shelley or something. So, but he wasn't going to come until next year. So they have the backup in place.
But I do still think it's just kind of good to start mentally preparing that. I think the big thing, obviously, is you're going to have to find someone to make up for all those assists and goals from Mohamed Salah in 2 years. And, like, that's hoping in the next 2 years he continues on the pace, which, unless it's a steep decline, even if he doesn't hit the numbers he does this year, I can't imagine him being dead weight on this team. As long as him and Van Dijk stay healthy, I think the next 2 years will be decently safe, still pretty competitive, but you're going to have to start figuring this out sooner or later.
Well, you're also going to be accounting for your rivals getting better. That's the other thing too. Like City, we know is going to come back with a vengeance. There's been talks about Arsenal also spending big in the summer too to make that push. And obviously you guys, Chelsea, you guys are always like, you never know what you're going to do. So yeah, I think the core of the team, the big key players, like you said, are older. And I agree. It's to build from it is how do you still stay competitive, but start to transition those guys out. And we started to see that a little bit, but they still need to find some, like, they're going to have to find a replacement for Trent because he's going to leave and go to Madrid. Andy Robertson, another unsung guy, he's getting older too. So I don't know. I looked at some other, and they got to get rid of some dead weight guys too. Nunez has been a disaster. Luis Diaz is 28 in his prime, but maybe Saudi comes through. So I don't know. Some key transfers I saw coming in there. Don't be surprised if you see their names rumored. Milos Kerkez, he's the fullback from Bournemouth. He's pretty good. A lot of big names are looking at him. There's Dean Hyson from Bournemouth, the young 19-year-old who was at Juventus and somehow ended up at Bournemouth for really cheap. And Xavi Simons, Ryan Cherchi, Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt. These are maybe, don't be surprised. I think those are some cool, really good names that if they're able to get maybe one or two of them, are going to help bolster the squad tremendously.
No, 100%. And I mean, I feel like they've been doing a pretty good job at finding replacements for positions and filling it in. They seem competent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess I would be to see a pretty steep drop off from the quality that they could bring in, but I guess time will tell.
And then how do you think they're going to be remembered?
I mean, it's arguably one of the most like I feel like strongest sides in Premier League history. I feel like it's just going to be down the line. You just think about the squad of, yeah, I mean, Mohamed Salah, like,
Yeah.
arguably a top 5 player ever to play in the Prem.
Yeah. At the time of recording, there's 4 games left to play. So they sealed the title with 4 games left. They're on 82 points. They have, trying to see how much they've won. They've won 25 games, drew 7, lost 2, a goal difference of plus 48. I mean, they'll probably end up with one of the higher champion. I mean, I guess my only, and I'm not trying to be a hater, because this is, I think it was it was so far a so far gone conclusion by like January that we knew it was going to be them, because City just freaking fell flat on their face in November. That, you know, and Arsenal kept just drawing too much. They couldn't cut down on the lead. So the only thing is, like, I feel I come back to, like, again, it could have been a more memorable season. They could have ended up winning. They could have been on their own quadruple if they were advancing in the Champions League, beat Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, and then who knows if they would have made it to the FA Cup final. But that's,
I mean, it's a lot of what ifs. They didn't. They managed to hold on to the title. I mean, walking away with that is, I feel like, no small feat, obviously.
Yeah.
And I do think it's very rare you see a genuine title race at that, like, even in, like, February. You kind of, I feel like in most years, aside from a very select few, you kind of already know what's happening. Teams fall off. The teams that are kind of hanging in there can't keep up. But, yeah, I mean, to say this team, how it will be remembered, I mean, yeah, it's one of Liverpool's best. I don't think there's a question about it.
I wonder, like, thinking back to that 2019-2020 season. I mean, that was, people forget because it was COVID, but they ended up on 99 points that year. So, I mean, that was probably one of the best, like, in most recent memory. So, but congrats to Liverpool.
Aside from City breaking 100.
Yeah. Congrats to Liverpool. Give it up. Hopefully next year you guys get relegated. And
yeah, for sure. Moving on, actually, outside of England, though, I wanted to talk about, we had a Clasico this week, and a sneaky little Clasico. We had the Copa del Rey final, the second final Clasico, I should say as well. They played in the Supercopa against each other back in January, with Barcelona taking that one. And no different here. Real Madrid and Barcelona, honestly, an absolute banger of a game, I might say. 3-2 going into extra time. Pedri scored one of the most gorgeous goals I've ever seen. And to open it up at 28th minute, Mbappe scoring his second career free kick, which is still just an insane thing to think about, I feel like. Guy's put in so many goals, and he's only scored 2, both from this season, I should say. Tchouaméni came in 7 minutes later with a header, a very well placed header at that. He came over the top in the box, but Fernand came through, and Koundé with a very unexpected goal. To end it. It was a pass. It was actually a very good pass by Modric. And I can't remember what player it was. He didn't come to the ball, and Koundé just came through. I think everyone was shocked to see him shoot. I think everyone was waiting for the pass, and he just had one from outside the box, a little worm burner, and he just made it in the bottom left there. But, I mean, personally, like I've said 100 times on this pod, I'm definitely big on this. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid big time on this Barca squad, so to see them walk away with it, I was very happy. And the thing that really killed me was Lamine Yamal just showing his age, being a shithouse teenager, 17 years old. He tells the press after, even if we concede 1 goal, no problem. If we concede 2 goals, still no problem. Real Madrid simply cannot beat us. We've proven that, and I'm happy. They've beaten Madrid 3 times this season. And I just, especially for this team, this Madrid team that came in this season that was supposed to be the next Galacticos, to go 3-0 against what I think is a very adolescent Barca squad that I think was supposed to be underperforming this year, are just crushing. And not only crushing, They're on a treble hunt right now. They're currently
Treble? I thought it was
or
a
quad. They're on a quad hunt right now. They're on a potential quadruple cup hunt this year. Already winning a Super Copa, now winning the Copa del Rey. They're leading by several points La Liga, and then obviously they have Champions League on their sights.
Yeah. Other notes out of this game, did you not mention the fact that Real Madrid had 3 red cards in like the 120th minute plus? They gave one to Rudiger and one to Vasquez, who were not even on the pitch. They're off on the subs. And then Jude Bellingham also got one. I know Real Madrid has been complaining about the refs a lot.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I feel like it's probably karma.
This is something that they barely showed on TV. I missed this. Oh, so for context also, the broadcast was dog shit. It was playing on ESPN, cut out 3 times. The last half, they just had the pundits that were supposed to be on halftime improvising, explaining what was happening. It was one of the worst streams ever, I should say. It was awful, so I completely missed that.
Yeah,
because they cut it off poorly.
ESPN FC stinks. I mean, they're dog water, and guess what? They're not going to care about the Copa because it's NBA playoffs are on, and the NFL draft was on this past weekend. So the El Clasico for the Copa del Rey final is on the bottom of the priority.
And it was such a good game. It's one of the best games I've watched this year. And honestly, wait, just to add on for Lamine Yamal shithousing, the guy goes up accepting and shaking hands with politicians, top tier. Jersey on backwards, so his name's on the front. Not 1, but 2 pairs of sunglasses on his head, just smiling away. He had 2 assists. He played one of the sickest ball. I shocked a goal didn't come from it. He's coming in from the right side of the box, and he hits it with his left foot outside the foot curve. It was such a well-placed ball. Someone on the center just couldn't get their feet on. It was unbelievable. I love Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, I mean, just he's super fun. He's super dangerous. And I mean, we saw it all at the Euros too, how him and Nico Williams, that tandem was amazing. So like it's all the up and up for him. I mean, for sure. We'll see if he, just throwing it out there in the ether, but maybe he's the next Messi reincarnated for Barcelona.
It's looking that way, Pete. I don't know what to tell you. Like it's a young kid punching above his age group, just fucking tearing people up, starting.
I mean, well, there's still a lot of work to be done, but like, we'll have to see.
17 years old. Cannot stress this enough.
Yeah. Let's just hope all that money doesn't go straight to his head. Let's just make sure about that.
Let's hope that he gets that messy autism gene.
Yeah. That Messi, I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Buddy, do yourself a favor. Look up Messi autism edits on TikTok.
No,
that guy is locked in. There's only one thing going. Is it all
the scanning? Is it the scanning that he's doing all the time? It's
the scanning. It's him
like looking all the time.
It's scanning. If a ball goes out, he just throws his hand up and does a forward roll for no reason. Oh, it's something else. These were going big during the Euro Cup. Big during the Euro Cup.
I think I've seen those edits. All right, so. Shout out to Barca. We'll be on the watch here to see if they go for the quadruple. Turning back to England here first. Because
keeping the watch on the top 6 watch, top 5 watch really.
Top 5 watch since they get the Champions League. Just a note here and other news. City and Villa and Forest did not play in the Prem this weekend because they were partaking in the semi-final round of the FA Cup. Palace, to everyone's surprise, thoroughly beat Villa. So that was a little bit of a shocker. City beat Forest 2-0. Not so much a shocker there. So creating a Crystal Palace City final. And this will be City's 3rd straight FA Cup final that they've reached. Last year, everyone remembers how United beat them to everyone's surprise and kept Eric Ten Hag's job for like another 5 months until he got sacked. Then this will be Crystal Palace's yet another attempt for them to try to win their first FA Cup. The last time they were in the final was in 2015, 2016, where they lost to United. That was that game where, remember, the old Palace coach Alan Pardew did that stupid dance. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where that game came. That's the meme that game came from, or whatever. I don't know. I got my words jumbled up there, but so that they didn't play, so they all have a game in hand. But let's go. We'll breeze through this first one. Newcastle beat the crap out of Ipswich 3-0.
As
Basically,
they should.
yeah, as they should. Solidified the Tractor Boys, and that's what Ipswich is called, the Tractor Boys. That's their nickname. I don't make it up. Solidified the relegation to back to the championship. Basically, Isak, Dan Burn, and William Osula scored as Newcastle thrashed them. So, and now the other really important game. Take it away, Chelsea guy.
I mean, Chelsea just pulling a win out, thank God. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but thank you, Roberto Sanchez. Robert Sanchez had, I'd say, a pretty solid fucking game, making a lot of key saves. Nico Jackson finally slotting a goal again, just first goal since December. I mean, we desperately needed that, and I mean, we managed to hold off. This was a big win. This was like such a must-win game for us. This is one of our, if I think technically our easiest matchup going forward for the rest of this Premier League campaign, and we need to just get as many points as we possibly can. Even a tie would have been horrific for us, because now we are a game behind on Nottingham Forest, but we are at least tied on points, and thanks to goal differential, we're ahead. So technically sitting pretty in 5th, but we need Nottingham Forest to drop points big time. Like, not even draw. We need losses from them.
Yeah.
And so Chelsea going forward, I mean, fingers crossed. We need to keep it up. It took them 10 Premier League goals this season for Nico Jackson, though. Making the second Chelsea player to achieve double figures this term after Cole Palmer. And this is the first time Chelsea have had multiple players at double figures in back-to-back campaigns in competition since Frank Lampard and Drogba back in 2009 and 2010 seasons.
Yeah, that's I read that stat. I was like, that's pretty surprising. I didn't think
It's kind of a
it went
wild stat when you think about it.
Yeah, you would think that, like, that's pretty, you always have at least maybe 2 guys that hit double goal, but I guess not. I guess it's
When you
not
go
as
through
tough.
our history, it's not terribly shot. Like, not getting 10 goals feels weird, but a lot of the time, like, our strikers are rarely, aside from Diego Costa, we haven't really had strikers that are successful. And it was really like Eden Hazard for a long time carrying us on goals after that.
Not even, I was going to say, not even one of those years with Diego Costa and Eden Hazard.
No, it's I guess not.
Maybe not in the Prem, but across all competitions.
Yeah, all competitions I think we did, but specifically in the Prem, I suppose not. Because the thing is, a lot of Eden Hazard, yes, he was good. He did score us goals, but he got hacked a lot. Like, a lot of time his magic came from being defended by and man-marked for entire games.
Yeah. So I'm fast forwarding here, looking ahead. So out of your remaining Premier League fixtures, you got Liverpool, who maybe might just take a seat back now or not, given that they have nothing left to play for. Then that's on May 4th. That's this upcoming weekend. Then on May 11th, big important game against Newcastle.
That's going to be a huge game.
Damn, that's a 7 a.m. game. Golly. And then
just a few days later.
And then a Friday night matchup here against United. That's
a Fullest Peace Derby. The
Fullest Peace Derby.
Hoping you guys show up in
trademark that, please.
Trademark it. I hope you guys show up in true Man United fashion. And then, honestly, our biggest game of the season, by all accounts, is Nottingham Forest. Last game of the season.
Yeah, that's going to have some important implications there.
I mean, this really could go down to the final game of the season, depending how things shake out.
Yeah. So, so looking at the current standings as they are, as the time of recording here on Monday the 28th. So, obviously, Liverpool champions. Arsenal are in second place with 67 points. Newcastle with 62 points. City with 61 points. then all of those teams have played 34, are all on 34 games played. Chelsea also in fifth with 60 points. Nottingham Forest on 60 points, but with a game in hand, are tied for sixth, and then Villa, who have also played 34 games, are on 57. So not looking good for Villa right now. If I'm them, I mean, but I think Villa actually had a pretty favorable remaining schedule as well. So I mean, this is the fun. This is actually what we wanted. We wanted more competitiveness, more important games at the end of the season, not just trying to go through the motions. So I'm excited to see how the heck this is all going to unfold. Eddie, what are your thoughts?
Buddy, we've been over this. You can't say that live on air.
Please edit that out.
He's leaving the room. We'll cut that. Sorry, chat. Mm-hmm. Moving on from Premier League, though, we are back with the Champions League. This will be coming out the morning of the first matches. We have Barcelona versus Inter, and then PSG versus Arsenal. First legs. I mean, starting off quick. Who you got in each, Pete?
I think how we said it last week. I think I'm gonna go Barca PSG. I think it's going to be a Barca PSG final.
I think I'm pretty sure this is what I said last week. Honest to God, my opinions could have completely changed, but I know I've been saying Barca. I'm going to keep saying Barca, and I hate to say it. I think it is Arsenal. I think Arsenal's going to have this in PSG. I don't think they have. We made the argument last week. It's the unstoppable force against the movable object of two choke job teams. So like, I wouldn't be shocked if somehow neither of them make it.
You're talking about which
PSG Arsenal.
Well, one of them is going to have to make it because they.
No, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think just an unbelievable choke job from each end. They both just get punted and they just deem the winner of Barca Inter as the champion. It'd be crazy. This is a joke. You're allowed to laugh. No, Pete. No, Pete. This joke's funny. You can laugh, Pete. Listen to me. That's a funny joke.
Leave your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comments if you thought that joke was funny.
Pete, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying they're both gonna choke so bad that neither of them actually qualify. So
I get it.
In that sense, that's why Barca or Inter would end up winning. That's why it's funny. Like you can laugh. That's a funny joke.
Yeah. No. That's like the biggest choke jobs.
That's good.
Just like the one I almost had by choking on my own spit because I was laughing so hard.
Thank
that
you.
Joke.
I missed that, but no, I'm glad you liked it.
No, but anyway. It's on camera. You saw it. It's on camera.
I am sticking with my guns that we said last week, though. I do think this is what we're gonna end up seeing.
I did a little analytics here, preview of this, just a little tidbit, little fun facts for everyone here. Started with the one half of the bracket here, Barca Inter. So a lot of the intrigue about this matchup is basically coming from, and as we saw in the Copa del Rey, Barca's potent attack against Inter's, stifling defense, essentially. For Barca, the trio of Rafinha, Robert Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal have struck a combined 27 of Barcelona's 37 goals in the Champions League this season. So I think Lewandowski has a hamstring injury, so he's taking good care of that, trying to get ready for. They probably won't be maybe ready for the first leg, but maybe the second leg. The Inter, however, they have had 8 clean sheets in this competition. That's 2 more than any other side. So this is going to be their toughest assignment yet. But I didn't even realize this. Inter has had only 2 defeats in their last 20 Champions League matches. So really good record, considering all things. So, and also they have their own potent strike force up front, led by Lautaro Martinez. Pretty good guy. And hey, Marcus Thuram is pretty good too. I like him a lot. So we'll see. I kind of see
this game being a slugfest, if I'm being honest.
Like a slugfest, what do you mean? Like back and forth goals galore?
Yeah, just a lot of goals.
I see this as going one of 2 ways. I can either see it as it will be like a 0-0 draw and then or 1-1 or something like that, or basically it's 0 at halftime, but then Barca pulls like a 2-0 back-to-back, like in the 60th, 70th minute, somewhere around there. That's where I can see it basically then going into the second leg. So, moving to PSG Arsenal. Arsenal's first semifinals since 2008, 2009. And they're also coming off one of the biggest highs, like we talked about last week when they beat the crap out of Real Madrid. But PSG have yet to win a game in 5 competitive games in North London. They've drawn 3 times and lost twice. But they're the more experienced side in this situation since they've been to the semis in 4 of the last 6 seasons.
They have the consistency. They do have the experience. But do they have the nerve?
Do they have the balls, really?
Do they have the cojones, Pete?
I don't know. Maybe they do.
We're going back to the whisper. We're going back to the whisper. 3 times potentially.
3-time whisper, maybe.
3-time whisper. I still think it's Arsenal, though. I really don't like to support Arsenal. I don't like to say that they're going to win anything.
I think it's weird that you're supporting Arsenal.
I don't think it's supporting. I think it's just I'm taking a step back and just looking at the big picture here. I just don't believe in PSG, man.
History-wise, yes, you would not.
I think
wouldn't want to believe in them.
I think I've just had multiple years of believing that PSG are this really great squad, which I don't think they're a bad squad, but I feel like it's just in Champions League specifically. I feel like I've just seen the song and dance so many times.
I think if PSG went the same route that they did, like maybe during the Neymar Mbappe era, that over reliance on those type of superstars, and if they were in this position again, I would have been like, yeah, I think Arsenal. But watching them play and watching them like really beat Liverpool and beat Villa and like the ways that they were creating goals and chances, like it is what's speaking to me here. I look like if you dice it up the other way, both teams are like, this is really what they're fighting for. Like now we know Liverpool won, so Arsenal has got nothing left. This is all they got. This is really they're putting all their eggs in this basket here. So, but they do have a little bit of some injuries into key players, so that's going to play some part in it. I think also, like, again, I don't think Mikel Arteta is, like, I know he's a good coach. I don't think he's, like, the type of leader to really, like, push your team to the next level, or not the next level. I've never find him convincing.
You're just I see, like I just don't. I can't say it's that one video, that one like little leak thing. I don't know. I feel like you lose the locker room with this. It's his monotone. It's his monotone voice. They let us. They took the ball and they scored a goal and they it's a disgrace. A disgrace. Like it's his voice. I don't know. I'm a big like I need some energy and like I need somebody who's like as a coach who's not going to be the nice guy who like I'm afraid to take a punch from them. I see Mikel Arteta, I'm like, I'm not scared of you. That's my 2 cents. Fair enough. You're very passionate about this take. I give you it. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're just very passionate about Mikel Arteta being kind of a bitch.
He's a disgrace.
He's a disgrace. If you do not go for gap, you are no longer a racing driver.
Push.
All right. And speaking of driving and shifting, let's shift into the kit news for today. Kit news of this episode. Something we've kind of, I feel like hinted at, talked about over several episodes, but we're gonna dive into it just a little bit here. But Nike, just as much as we shit on them, clearly seems to understand that they don't care either, because I feel like it's very obvious they've been taking a very clear step back from the football side of things. They've held on to several international teams, like the iconic ones. They have France, Netherlands, obviously the United States. Recently acquiring Germany from Adidas, which is crazy for many reasons. But they, outside of I'd say PSG and Barcelona, and even Atletico, they've definitely taken a big step back from at least club soccer for sure. And they definitely have not been taking. I feel like there's just really not been a lot of effort put into their club kit side of things.
Yes. So basically, what we're alluding to is over the last maybe close to half decade now, more so in the last 2 or 3 years, Nike has kind of shown they're back towards the club football uh, business, and now it seems like they're actually shifting that strategy. So Nike's had a new CEO come in, and it looks like he wants to return Nike to its core identity. They want to basically focus in on like their elite teams and their elite athletes and everything that they have in the football realm. So back in basically 2019, they were kind of starting to let a lot of, from there up until 23, they were letting a lot of contracts expire. So basically contracts that they had with players for boot deals, a lot of big club teams they let go, and they were more so focusing on the women's game, which I think was an important area to invest in, because there's been a lot of growth over in that industry over the last 5 years, especially. And they've focused more so on the international tournaments, because they see that the international tournaments garner the most eyeballs, and obviously more buying the national team shirts rather than the club team shirts. I think me and you have a different idea that club teams are actually better than the international teams, I would say, in terms of the shirting perspective. So, so yeah, they lost a bunch of big teams. Like they lost the Portugal kit deal, they lost Galatasaray, Leipzig. They lost a couple teams to like Puma, and Adidas has also taken all the big names of all the big clubs.
Adidas and Puma have definitely been, I'd say, taking a very big step towards the club direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like all the big names, the biggest teams, Madrid, Bayern, United, Arsenal, who else? Juventus. I mean, they're all with Adidas, and they're all making very nice kits over there. While Nike has languished, they, with Chelsea, Liverpool, like Spurs to some degree, like the kits have been kind of whatever. Not to say they don't have big clubs. So this shift has basically started taking late in 2024, and they're trying to get back into that, like I said earlier, that core identity. So they've made a big focus into keeping the big teams that they have. Although I'm surprised they didn't say anything about Chelsea, and I'm surprised they didn't say anything about Spurs, but they made a commitments to Atletico, extending their deal until 2035. PSG and Jordan are still going to stay around until 2027, but the overall Nike deal is still staying till 2038. So this is, yeah, I think they were realizing, Nike was realizing that they were losing some, falling behind in the world football race. But they still have the big guns to flex it and piss off Adidas.
They still have the big guns. They still have a lot of big names. It's good to see they're at least putting a little bit of effort towards some of the teams. Like I think the PSG Jordan deal is one of the best partnerships in like sports in general. Forget just soccer. It's like across the board, in the entire world. I think it's one of the best partnerships. I just think they do like fantastic work together. But I mean, honest to God, if they could just do me a favor and just fucking cancel their contract with Chelsea so like Adidas can just come swoop in and save the day, I'll take Kappa. Give me Chelsea and Kappa. It would never happen. God willing, if Kappa's willing to drop the cash, but dude, just get us out. Help.
Yeah, you're coming from it from a creative design, because the Nike Chelsea kits have been disappointing at mostly.
It's not been a lot of good, I'd say. It's definitely been more bad than good, which is not what you want to see. I don't think it matters what kit manufacturer you have. I think you're gonna have some
yeah,
you're gonna have some bombs for sure. Exactly, you're gonna have some duds, but give me at least above a 50% ratio on good to bad kits.
Yeah,
Nike's rough, man. And I almost want to be a little forgiving, which is crazy of me to say, because I think a lot of those Nike years I'm a little bit poor taste in mouth because of the 3 sponsorship, which I think has fucking ruined a lot of our kits. But it definitely, I think even regardless, Nike templates, Nike designs, I think it's kind of my biggest. I feel like I repeated myself so much during our kit series where it's just God, stinkers more often than not.
Yeah, I think overall this has been an interesting storyline that I've been monitoring for a while, and I think because this fell in line with the previous leadership at Nike, I feel like in terms of why Nike has fallen behind in terms of their shoe sales in a lot of ways too, also kind of maybe translated here as well, that they were kind of not focusing. They felt like probably football was bottomless money pit in terms of cost and expenses and everything, and they rather have focused in on different sports that were, maybe more lucrative to them. Like I said, like the women's sports and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's played a big part. And now I think the new CEO and new leadership has kind of seen like, oh crap, people like, football is the people's sport. It's the world sport, and if you're not a big player in there, you're going to fall behind. Like, so I think it's good. I think this is good that they are having at least refocusing, putting it back in there. I would love to see them get back into some more fun designs, a lot of their cool designs from like the 90s. Try to see if they can not replicate. I'm kind of getting tired of like the retro kit trend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's starting to get a little overplayed, which, I mean, I still love it, but like, I feel like every year it's always like, we're going to pay homage to this one and this one. And it's like, can we do something fresh and something new? So I wonder if they can maybe combine those two spheres of influence and, make something new, make something better.
No, 100%. And for the close of the show, I also want to talk about one big piece of news that came out today. It's kind of something we've already known, but it seems like it's pretty official now, and it's coming to a head, especially now that their Champions League campaign is over. But Carlo Ancelotti has apparently reached an agreement with Brazil to be the new national team coach. I'm so in for this. I think this could be something amazing. I can't wait to eat my words when this team bombs like hell in the World Cup next year. But I'm digging this like big managers at national teams again. Like there's
been rumors that a certain special one might be leading his home country.
I want to really paint the picture for how sick this 2026 World Cup could be. We would have Ancelotti's Brazil, Thomas Tuchel's England, Nagelsmann's Germany, Descamp's France, Jose Mourinho, and then Jose Mourinho's Portugal. This could be this World Cup is shaping up to be something beautiful. The only thing that's a shame is that we're not getting Zidane France team this year or next World Cup. We'd get it by the next World Cup, but God, that's the only thing I think that would make this just peak.
Yeah, I mean, that for Brazil, they needed to do something like that. I think they've tried a bunch of different type of managers, and it just has not worked out. This is the perfect coach who has the connection with, especially like the biggest Brazilian players, Vini and Rodrigo, in there, and he can be the guy that they're going to respect, and they're going to be like, this is the Don Carlo here. So I'll be intriguing to see.
What I think is fascinating, that shows I think the level of respect that the world has for Carlos Ancelotti. The last time Brazil had a non-Brazilian coach was in 1965. Argentinian Filippo Nunes.
Okay.
So they keep it in house, but I think they realize that like we got to make some changes here.
All right.
Oh, you fact checking me?
No, I was like making sure. I forgot that I thought Luis Felipe Scolari I didn't know. I thought he was Portuguese, but I remember he coached the Portuguese team. So you are right. Yes.
So let's see. I think that is a very interesting tidbit there, but we will see what happens. We're probably not going to get anything official until the end of the regular season, but
once the season ends, yeah.
But it is interesting, and then probably Xabi Alonso at Madrid. I feel like is the next logistical step. I think that kind of feels inevitable. But that about does it for this week's episode of Fool's Peace. Thank you all so much for being here as always. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all next week. Cheers, my friends.
See you guys.